The 28th of October, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi, Noach. Page 7. Okay, so I want to do Noach.
Okay. Fine. Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Let's go. Okay. Actually, I'd like to, we actually went up to the Rashi, his Alech, Russian Obar. Okay, but before that, Rashi just pointed out a difference between Noach and Avram. Noach followed Hashem's ways. Okay, but it was with Hashem. Right? You with it? With me? It's in the third Rashi on the first pasuk in the Parsha. Okay? Avram hu'omer.
Noach. That one?
Yeah. Okay, says Rashi. Avram hu'omer. Where's coming in? Okay.
You're right. Walk before me.
Yes. Right.
Noach needed support to bear him up, but Abraham would strengthen himself and walk in his righteousness on his own.
Okay. So I translate slightly different. The translation which you just read was pretty literal. But what I want to look up over here. Oh, I have it over here. So. Yeah. Difference is Noach required God's support to uphold him in his righteousness, while Abraham strengthened himself morally and conducted himself righteously by his own efforts. So the idea is that, first of all, what does it mean actually? Hisalech eso likim hisalech lech and hisalech lefonai. Go ahead of me, right? Literally, follow or go walk, conduct yourself ahead of me, before me. So the Chai wanted to explain, give you a very simple marshal. You have a little boy, he's never been to shul before. So his father tells him, he says, Yankele, you want to come with me to shul? So he says, sure. So what does he do? He doesn't know the way to shul, the kid. So he holds onto his father's hand. He goes with his father. But that happens the first time, the second time, even the third time. Afterwards, the boy knows already, the kid already knows the way. So his father said, Yankele, we're going to shul now. So the kid runs on ahead. What does that mean he runs on ahead? Because he knows where his father wants him to go. Because he doesn't need his father he doesn't actually have to be with his father to get to where he's supposed to be going. He knows where his father wants him to go. That was basically the difference between Noach and Avraham Avinu. Noach, what Hashem told him to do, he did. But he wasn't to the level that he was striving for a close connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that would lead him to the level that he would understand what Hashem wanted of him even before Hashem told him. That was the level of Avraham Avinu. He was so striving to have a close connection to Hashem that he could understand what Hashem wanted of him even before Hashem told him. That's a loss of Hisarach Lefona, go ahead of me. Meaning, you understand what you want, you'll understand what I want of you, even though I haven't necessarily told you explicitly. That was the level of Avraham. Okay?
So you want to move on now?
Yes, please. Hisarach. Let's see the next Rashi.
Lashon Avar. This is the past tense. Zehu shemusho shel lamed.
Yeah, so actually,
this is the lamed is used. Did you want to say something?
Yeah. Okay, so I have the reading over here. Zeu shimusho shel losho. This is the word of the expression. Okay, the loshen koved, when it is used in the heavy conjugation. Okay?
Right, it says in the intense form.
Okay. It can be used the same. Koved means right. Okay. He says that you have used the same form for the future and for the past. So he points out over here that when he means they use the same form for the future, hisarech, okay, in this sense means not necessarily when we say it's a future form, it doesn't mean what I will do in the future, but it means an imperative form, when a command form. So you have you're using the term over hisarech. If you tell somebody, that's what Rashi is going to bring a proof for. It says later on that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Avraham Avinu, "Hisarech lefonai v'yesom." Follow my ways and be perfect. Hisarech. So that's an imperative form. Okay, and here it says Eser Elokim Hisarech Noach. That's a description, is a past tense form. That's what Rashi is going to explain over here.
So, so my English says it serves as both the future, i.e. imperative,
Right.
and as the past in the same form. So how do you know which it is?
So Rashi, you'll see from the context. Generally, it becomes as a statement from somebody who is, let's say, from Hashem to Avraham Avinu, or Hashem to Noach. Yeah. Then we'll understand it comes as a statement from one person to another, or from somebody more important to a lesser person. Then it will have the meaning of an imperative form. He's telling him something, he's commanding him something. You'll see Rashi gives different examples.
But my English says it doesn't say imperative, it says past.
No, okay, the future tense means imperative. When it means in the future, has a future meaning, that means an imperative meaning. And the past is the second meaning.
Right, but you just said that when it's Hashem speaking to a person, it's imperative,
Right.
but it's not
Meaning,
past.
where do you find that?
My English says he walked, past tense.
Yeah, but this is a narrative. That's not Hashem speaking to somebody in this pasuk. Es Elokim Yisalech Noach. The Torah is describing. The Torah is describing who Noach was. It's not mentioning any. It's not stating what Hashem said to Noach.
I see.
Okay.
All right. So Ula Shavar is the past tense. Lashon Echad in the same form. Okay, we read that. We did that already. Okay. Kum His Halech. Get up and walk about.
Well, it's actually referring to Hashem is telling Avraham Avinu, arise, hisalech ba'aretz, and walk in the land.
Right.
And it really means tour the land.
So that's lahaba. That's a future.
It means Hashem is telling Avraham Avinu to do something. It's an imperative form.
So it's imperative.
Translate, arise and walk the land along its length and breadth.
And then it says, Rashi continues, His halech Noach.
And there's our pasuk over here. Es Elokim hisalech Noach.
Noach walked. L'shavar, it's in the past. Hispalel ba'ad avadecha. The word hispalel in pray on behalf of your servants.
Right.
Lahaba is in the future, imperative. Uba lehispalel es habayis hazeh.
El Habai says it.
El uva behispalel el habayis hazeh, and he will come and pray to this house. Lashon avar, past tense. But my English is not saying past tense. He will come and pray to this house. Is
Future. Yes, but look, carry on. Only the vav at the beginning of the word Hispalo changes the tense to the future.
oh. Ella shehavav sheberosho. Except that the letter vav is at the beginning.
Which is at the beginning.
Which is at the beginning. Hofcho lehaba. It transforms it into the future. Oh, this is confusing. So it's like a conversive vav.
So basically, the bottom line is where the term hisalech is used in a narrative. Yeah,
It's past.
then it's a past tense, and if it has a vav in front, changes it to a future tense. Okay,
Or
where it's between, it's used as a term from a somebody telling else to something else to in an imperative form, right? Then well, if it's telling somebody in a sense of one person is telling the other person to do something, then it's an imperative form and it has a future connotation. Okay?
yes.
Continue.
So moving on.
Pasuk, Pasuk Yud. We didn't do Pasuk Yud yet.
We didn't do Yud? Okay, Yud. Let's see. Vayaled Noach Shlosha.
Vayoled, yeah. Vayoled Noach.
Vayoled Noach Shlosha Vanim Es Shem Es Cham Es Yafes. Noach begot
Okay.
3 sons, Shem, Cham, and Yafes.
Right.
No Rashi on that.
By the way, it's interesting. Rashi doesn't mention it over here. I believe Rashi says at the end of Parshas Bereshis. Okay. I'll point out to you Rashi in the end of last week's Parsha, on the end of chapter 5, chapter Hey, Pasuk Lamed Beis.
Chapter Hey, Lamed Beis. Chapter Hey, Lamed Beis.
Okay.
Ben Amesh Maos Shana.
I'm not referring to that Rashi, I'm referring to the second Rashi. Es Shem, Es Chom, Ves Yofes.
Es Shem, okay. Let's see. Where is this in the Rashi? Es Shem, Es Cham, Ves Yafes. V'halo Yefes Hagadol Hu.
Right.
But is it not Yefes, the oldest?
It's not Yefes, the oldest, right? Now, where does Rashi base that on? Because we're going to see at the end of Parshas Noach, where it mentions all the lineage. I don't know, is it? I refer you to chapter 10, Pasuk 21. This is the end of, well, towards the end.
Chapter
very long.
10.
Chapter 10.
Back in Noach now?
Yeah, back in Noach, towards the end of Noach. Shem Yulad Gamhu, Avi Kol B'nei Ever, Achi Yefes Hagodol.
Yefes HaBachor.
Sorry?
Yefes HaBachar, that says he was the firstborn.
Right, so Yefes Hagodol. So Yefes was the oldest. So that's where Rashi gets it. V'halo Yefes hu Hagodol.
Okay.
Elo b'tchila.
Where are you now?
Back to the Rashi then in end of Bereshis.
End of Bereshis. Okay, let's see. Ella, let's see. Ella b'techila ata doresh. But first, you doresh. You analyze. What?
Expound.
You expound es shehu tzaddik.
Shem shehu tzaddik. You expound or you explain what happened to Shem because he was a tzaddik. V'noilad keshehu mahu, and he was born already circumcised. V'shavrom yotza mimenu, and Avram was going to descend from Shem. So therefore, that's why Shem is mentioned first. He was the most important of them all.
So Shem was born circumcised?
That's what Rashi says. quotes from the Parsha from Bereshis Rabbah, from the Midrash.
Really? Never heard that before.
Okay, so write that down. Something new for today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just pointing out over here that even again, Rashi doesn't comment over here, but is actually almost exact paraphrase of the pasuk here in the end of Parshas Bereshis. It says, "Vayehi Noach ben chomesh me'ah shana vayoled Noach es shem eschom es yofes." Okay.
Well, why is he last if he's firstborn?
Who? Yefes. Yeah.
You want to mention the righteous one first.
Right. Okay. One question is why Yefes is mentioned last. Actually, some opinions, even though it seems to contradict the pasuk, as I mentioned before, pasuk later on in chapter 10 says, almost it sounds explicitly that Yefes was the oldest. Some Mepharshim do not learn that way. They learn that Ham was actually the oldest, but since he acted wickedly, so he was demoted, and therefore Yefes was really got the position of being like the firstborn. Okay. Anyway, let's continue now. Let's go into
that doesn't explain why Yefes is last. It explains why Shem is first.
right. You're correct. Why Yefes is mentioned last, I'm not sure.
Okay, so let's see. Where were we?
Go back to the beginning of Noach, chapter pasuk 11.
Pasuk 11. Pasuk 11. Okay, let's see. Yud Aleph. The Tisha Ches Haaretz Livnei Haelokim the Vati Malay Haaretz Hamas. Okay, so but Tisha Chet is the root is Chet, it's a sin.
It needs to become corrupt.
Become corrupt. Haaretz. The earth had become corrupt before and the earth had become filled. Now, my English says with robbery, but Hamas, I always thought Hamas was anger or violence.
Violence. Hamas means, according to Chazal, means violent robbery.
Violent.
Guy grabs.
What?
Right? Guy smash and grab. That's what Hamas is.
Robbery.
Yeah. By the way, it's interesting. Look in the Targum over here. Ismailias ara chatoifim. Right? The Targum translates Hamas as chatoifim, means those who grab, those who
Hatofim, grab.
Yeah, chatufim, right? Unfortunately, the kidnapped ones are called the chatufim. Okay, it's interesting that Atimolei it's Hamas. It's the same word, chatufim, referring to the kidnapped ones. Anyway, okay.
Great. So Rashi, the Batishachet, to become corrupt. Lashon erva. It's an expression of sexual immorality.
Right.
The root shachet.
1 second. Avodah Zorah. Oh yeah, carry on.
Avodah Zorah and idolatry.
Okay.
Pen tish chi tun.
Right. So that you do not become corrupt.
like tashchisun in lest you become corrupt. And make
then the Pasuk continues and says, explains to serve idols.
To serve idols. Ki tashchis kol basar.
Hishchis, kol basar.
Hishchis. V'gomer. Like hishchis in all flesh had corrupted, etc.
Right, this is referring to our Pasuk over here. Sorry, the next Pasuk. And that is referring to immorality. Okay?
So
we're going to have to stop here because I need to get to Mincha at 1:30. So we'll have to stop here, and Bez Hashem will continue the next Rashi tomorrow, Bez Hashem.
All right, thank you.
Very good. Have a great day.
You too, Rabbi. Bye-bye.